Hi everybody, welcome back to those who've been following me some time. Adele Levine, intuitive and medium. Got the altar light lit up. And welcome to those new to my channel. So I did a vote on here on my YouTube community saying, soulmates or how to use crystals. My favorite comment, which was probably the only comment was on there. Well, the only comment that wasn't for crystals said, you have a lot of information, don't talk about rocks, which I thought was really funny. So for you, the person who commented, or anyone else who's wondering why, because I know I do a lot of spirit stuff and energy stuff, but I do use crystals. I just don't use them in the traditional way. And so the way I'm going to show you today is going to be kind of a non-traditional use. What I mean by that is if you want to know what each crystal means and the properties and what they do, go Google it or get a book. I'm more on intuitively what I feel from the crystals, and I do use them in a certain way, and I will show you guys that and how to charge and cleanse them. So stay tuned. This is going to be another show and tell where you may see a swipe and then we're next to the next scene. I do very little editing videos, but this is the only way to do this. So thank you so much for hanging out with me on this channel as we close to the year coming up soon. I just wanted to give a shout out to all the support I've gotten and all of you who took advantage of my special, which is still going on till this evening, half off all readings. It's been really fun being able to read the people who are watching me on here and listening to my podcast, The Witch and the Medium. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. So these are my crystals. I'm going to explain to you what this is for, cleansing or charging, and this, but let's start with the crystals. This is a quartz, and it's a pretty basic quartz. It's a very small one. This is good if you want to just kind of hold it in your pocket. And like I said, what I'm going to show you today is not traditional meanings of crystals. You can look those up, but I know some of these, but I definitely believe in when you're choosing a crystal is to hold it in your hand and feel what you feel from it. So once you go through all of them and you kind of hold one in your hand, this is an amethyst, but you hold this in your hand, then you go by the one you feel drawn to, and as you go by the one you feel drawn to, then go look up what you see the meaning is, because you usually will find that it's the one that you might be realizing you need. So this is an amethyst, and a quartz is my favorite. So let me go back, because you can push energy into the quartz, whatever energy you want. So not only can you push the energy into the quartz you want, but it can absorb from you. So if you're holding this in your pocket and you're walking around with it and you're having a stressful day and you don't want to feel the stress, you can not hear the stress as well, but if you don't want to feel the stress, you hold it in your hand and you kind of feel yourself pushing it into your hand. The crystal, pushing it from your hand into the crystal and let it absorb. And then I'll explain how to cleanse. That's why I love quartz. I have two of them, and I'll get to this one. This is an amethyst egg. This was actually given to me as a gift, but I actually also love, the feel of it. It's a kind of more of a smoother, polished crystal versus to this being more raw. But amethyst is to raise your sight, raise your vibration. It's really to raise your sight and open up your sight. If you look at a lot of times when they talk about the crown chakra, amethyst is the same color, it's purple. You can use this to put on your third eye to kind of open it up, and you can also use the egg to kind of roll around your body if you want, like your hands and your arms and maybe the back of your neck. It helps absorb as well, but it definitely charges. This is another quartz. I call this my wand. I kind of use all of these as a wand, believe it or not. But the way I use this is to read with, is to again, how I operate when people ask me when I read a bunch is that when I'm reading the person, so I don't feel their energy going into me, I use it almost like it's like a filter going through. So this point is here and I hold it like here. This is grounding me. I almost like feeling the push on my finger. And as the energy is coming from the person, it's going through this and filtering. And I also use it to kind of open the person up and to kind of make them kind of open if I want to push an energy. So you can use this to ground yourself, absorb, again, just like this one. You can also use this to push energy towards the person. What I mean by that is, let's say you're having someone having a difficult time with and all this, and you want to bring this to, again, in your pocket or something. You can put your hand in your pocket and you're like, okay, I'm not letting me feel, I'm kind of stopping and stopping the energy from getting into me. And if you want to open someone up, you're kind of using this as a wand. This is Garnet. Oh my gosh, Garnet is so awesome. It's beautiful. This was another gift. And this is a sphere. I like to use these. So the way I actually use crystals is I just pick up the one I feel drawn to. Sometimes in readings, I pick up a crystal and I don't know why I'm picking it up. And then sure enough, it's something that person needs. Garnet is very grounding. Again, look up the, if you want to look up all the definitions, go ahead. But the sphere, I kind of like this as holding on as if I'm trying to circulate the energy around and around and around. But it's a beautiful, it's beautiful to look at, but it also feels very soothing, the sphere type crystals. This is rose quartz, classic rose quartz wand. It is definitely for the heart. This is to help heal the heart. You can get rose quartz and just lay it down on your heart. I actually wasn't someone who believed a lot of these things. I test them out, and that's how I've discovered it. So I encourage you to test out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Again, I do use this as a wand, and sometimes people don't really know. It's very subtle the way I'm pushing energy. But rose quartz, this kind of large type of wand might be harder to carry, might be better for your altar at home if you want to utilize it to open things up inside the heart. This is actually, I'm going to be honest, I'm not even sure the name, because where I bought it, they weren't sure. I've looked at some other places to see. I think I kind of one time had the name. This is definitely just on an intuitive basis. This feels like a very, very earthy grounding. So if I just want to feel grounded and connected to the earth, this is one I use. Right here, this is a huge block of saline, and here's a small block of saline, which you can use to travel with. That's what I use. Or if you just want to put it onto your like desk or something like this, it is good for cleansing. So with saline, not saline, selenite. What am I talking about? Saline. That is incorrect. Selenite. You put your crystals on top. Saline. Good luck with saline. You put your crystals on top of here and it cleanses. So you don't have to put them in the sun or do the different things or salt water or anything. If you have a block like this, you can use that. If you have the small strips they come in, you can kind of put it around there. Or like I said, sometimes I've done this where I just kind of have a little one like this and they just share. So it's like a quick way, because you don't have to charge selenite and you don't have to like cleanse it. It is already a natural cleanser like salt would be. I have a big block, and you can probably get these online much cheaper. Another way that I love to do is I get a glass bowl, and I like glass because it, obviously it's easier for the sun to kind of pierce through rather than, like metal or things like that. Or ceramic and things. So if you put it in here, what I like to do is you don't even have to open up a door. I just put it in the window when the sun's out. If you're a moon person and you like to charge them with the moon, The sun to me kind of burns things off and then charges it up as well. Sometimes I put it on my block, then I put it in here, then I put it in the sun, and then I'm good to go. If you want to do moon, if you want to put them outside and you trust that no one's going to take them, you can put them out in the moon to charge. Cleansing, you can use salt, but be careful, not all stones are good with salt. You can also burn some incense and just wave them over the incense. There's different ways people tend to do it. I love the sun, the moon, whichever one, and this is more classic to me. These are my go-tos. Sometimes I even use oil, that you can actually take the oil and just kind of wipe it around. So this is my crystals. I have a few others, but you have the the core ones. And don't forget to just, when you go crystal shopping, don't get caught up in all the names and the meanings and get all crazy. Just go for what works for you. Hold it in your hand. It's so much more magical when you hold it in your hand and you feel like, okay, this feels right. This feels like the one. And then you look it up and you find out, wow, this is actually for me. So there you go. Done. Okay guys, thanks so much. I hope that this crystal video helped. This is my all-time favorite. Where I got this, what is at Where I Read Mystic Journey, but you can get these kind of anywhere. And remember again to go with your intuition. You can get many books on this. You can read so many different, you know, this is what this crystal's for, this is when you use it, this is when you don't use it, blah, blah, blah. I would say the only rules that matters to crystals is how you cleanse them, because there are some crystals you can just dunk in salt water. Some do not do well with it. So I think if anything else you're cleansing, meaning like sun, moon, grass, some people use dirt. If you just, you know, if you're using incense and stuff is okay, but when it comes to salt and salt water, it can eat away. So that's the only rule. Other than that, like I said, feel the energy. Also, here's a little tidbit, or I would say a little something you can kind of try at home as practicing using crystals, so you can see, kind of see the confirmation of, is it true when I push energy into the crystal? Is it absorbing? Think of something, push an energy into the crystal, you know, if you're thinking, but let it be something legitimate to how you're feeling, legitimately how you're feeling. I hope I also, why seeing my block back here on my altar, selenite. I just want to be clear that we are not going to go out and get saline. Saline is good for your nose and cleansing, but you know, okay. Kind of similar, right? Where it's a cleanse. Okay, anyway, back on track. What you should do is take the crystal, think of something that you're actually feeling. So if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling anger, if you're feeling anxious, and push it into the crystal. And then if there's someone who's willing to play with you in this way, hand it to the person. Don't tell them what you pushed into the crystal, and let them feel it, and then let them tell you how they felt when they held it. Boy, am I having a hard time talking. I just think it's like the whole holiday thing. I don't know. I'm having a tongue-tied moment. But yeah, so ask them this, and people tend to like to kind of play this game, and it'll be good for you. They may describe something like, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling like I can't breathe. You know, they may not say the exact words like, oh, I'm feeling fear, or I'm feeling whatever, but they may have a description that's, you're like, wow, this is kind of similar to what's going on with me. And it helps you to kind of validate, you know what I put into the crystal, this person is sensing it, and maybe there is something to it. That's a good little way to practice. Again, the other is holding them and kind of going, which one do I feel I need, and then reading about it, so that you get the validation instead of like reading about the crystals and then going and seeking that one. Because I'll give you a little tidbit. There's a crystal, it's very, very popular, black tourmaline. I'm sure you've heard of it. Black tourmaline, if you haven't, is to help take away negative energy. People put it by their bed. They wear necklaces. It's kind of almost look like it's a shield to absorb negative energies. I don't do well with black tourmaline. It doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't give me a good vibe. I almost feel like it's over much for me. So I'm never drawn to it, but black onyx I'm very drawn to as something, and again, garnet and different things like that. Onyx is another kind of negative catch-all. That's what this bracelet I have right here is. And black tourmaline a lot of times comes in a raw form, or you can get it in a polished form, but most of the time you're going to see it in a very raw form. And that's why I'm saying go with what you sense. If you go into a crystal shop and they're like, this is for this and this is for that, and you're like not jiving it, go with what your gut tells you, because you know that's what I always say. Thank you so much. Again, thank you those who've been supportive. Thanks for those who I've got to, it's been fun meeting people. I mean, I'm reading you. The special's still going on to the end of tonight, which is my Cyber Monday, and it was first Black Friday and then Cyber Monday, half off of all readings. If you put in the code TURKEY, just go to my website, adelalevine.com. Don't forget to listen to The Witch and the Medium. We'll be back this week. I hope you guys were safe, and if you did the holiday, I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I hope you also just chilled and listened to yourself. Listen to nobody. Follow that inner voice. Teachers and spiritual people are only here to help open the door. See you soon.